visuals, I understand, from Jharkhand. That's the breaking input and the breaking story that we continue to track. These are the live visuals that we're getting. Let me go across to my colleague Priyank, who gets us the latest.
Important visuals also because the CM security staff are right now recording this particular movement of all those officials who are going inside the office on their mobile phone. They are trying to see that who is inside and who is not, asking about them, that whether they are actually the officials or not. That's a protocol which is being followed. The SDM of this area is also here, along with the city SP of Ranchi, Rajkumar Mehta, and all these officials are right now checking the credentials of those officials. So now the second vehicle is going inside the CM's residence, so which means that within few minutes from now, the questioning will be, started. It is very important to be seen that what sort of questions will be asked this time, because what Hemant had already claimed that previously he was only asked 17 questions, Amita. Hemant also claimed that this questioning was part of a politically motivated investigation which is being done by the Enforcement Directorate. This particular investigation was only to harass him. But now, since the cash seizure has been done by the Enforcement Directorate, but now when the vehicles have also been seized by the Enforcement Directorate, it is very important. And this is not only related to the two vehicles or some amount of cash which has been seized. In this particular investigation, the National Investigating Agency, I beg your pardon, the Enforcement Directorate has already seized 236 crore worth property from several individuals. So the security staff are moving ahead, the ED officials going inside, the paramilitary along with the Jharkhand State Police trying to make a well-coordinated effort so that there should not be any kind of hindrance in the investigation. So two vehicles going inside the CM's house is the most important development which is happening, which we have been tracking closely. They have been very important credentials of the case which need to be taken care of at this moment. See, this case pertains to a land which was a disputed land, which is barely few kilometers away, almost a kilometer away from the residence of the Chief Minister. The place which is the most prominent area, it is known as Morabadi ground, and there's a place where a piece of land, the plot number 255, was illegally acquired by a group of individuals in connivance with the then DC of Jharkhand, Ranjan, who was also arrested by the Enforcement Directorate, because what they did, they spotted a piece of land which was already disputed. The landowner who claimed to be the landowner had a dispute with the army, and there was some issue with the payment, and the army finally released a payment of 50,000 rupees in his favor after the High Court gave its order. And then this particular land was spotted by the land grabbers. They reached out to Ranjan and they claim that this piece of land need to be taken by them. Then the drama started, the forging of the documents started, fake documents were made, and not only in Ranchi but also in Kolkata. These two set of
All right, that is of course the latest that Priyank continues to get us, but of course the big input on that front is that the Enforcement Directorate has reached Hemant Soren's residence and the central agencies to question Jharkhand Chief Minister Soren. But essentially, of course, my colleague also going on to point out, what is the case against Hemant Soren? Remember, the case being probed by the ED pertains to a huge racket of illegal change of ownership of land by the mafia in Jharkhand, and Hemant Soren is of course being investigated on the money laundering charges which were generated by forging documents to acquire a huge amount of land having value worth crores. In fact, just to give more background into this particular case, the Enforcement Directorate has arrested 14 people so far in the case, including Ranjan, who served as the director, like my colleague Priyank was also pointing out, of the State Social Welfare Department and Deputy Commissioner of Ranchi. Now, what we do know is that the employee of a Jharkhand Land Revenue Department was also arrested by the agency in the case. But remember, essentially, as far as this entire case is concerned, initially as well, when the central agency had written to Hemant Soren as far as this case, they did state in that letter that he is very well aware that the budget session will be held between the 2nd and the 29th of February in 2024, and undersigned will be preoccupied with preparations for the same apart from other scheduled official engagements. And in these circumstances, your instance to record a further statement of the undersigned on or before 31st of January. Now remember, this is the letter that was addressed to the Jharkhand Chief Minister, and of course in the purview of the same, the questioning happening today. And in this particular letter, what was also stated by the central agency addressed to the Chief Minister was that to reveal your political agenda to disrupt the functioning of the state government and prevent an elected representative of the people from discharging his official duties. So this is of course the background in terms of the central agency having written to Hemant Soren. Remember, there were multiple summons also that was given to him, but the latest as far as this entire development is concerned is that amid high security, the Enforcement Directorate team has reached Hemant Soren's residence pertaining to the case where a huge racket of illegal change of ownership of land by the mafia in Jharkhand. Essentially, of course, the central agency is trying to establish and question Hemant Soren. He's being investigated on money laundering charges which were generated by forging documents to acquire huge parcels of land having value worth of crores. We're going to keep you updated about that big development and all other stories, but we're slipping in a quick break here on Mirror at 1. Stay with us.